So prepare the rotten tomatoes in case you got to throw them at me. This is kind of a cheesy infomercial-esque poem that deals with the end of the world. So. We humans love the streamlined, revolutionized, redesigned. There is no field, no technology safe from human ingenuity, nothing overlooked, no discrepancies, maximum efficiency, and interdependencies. This includes, funnily enough, Darwinian evolution theory. How have we humans transcended the never-ended reproduction of the cell? Well, it was just another outdated model to outsell. Our answer to the age-old question, what governs human expression, was found unsatisfactory. So, to compete with evolution, redefine our motivation, we created a new species, a twisted incarnation. An apex predator hungrily sitting atop the food chain. Those creatures it deemed inefficient were quite rapidly slain. Mass extinction genocided those animals evolution had provided. This new being we designed, the great North American dollar. The stronger, faster, taller fiend, redesigned and unquarantined. This synthetic cockroach, sprung forth from our minds, now dominates us all, has us all in its binds. We, of course, had to make it more efficient and more omniscient than cellular division. The dollar can reproduce at 10 times the rate of nature's most profuse. We humans do its bidding, its reproduction, and its killing. We live our lives in its favor. It influences all behavior as we slip deeper into our roles, we the slaves and it the slaver. This fiend known as the dollar, which breeds and spreads its squalor, has a natural habitat as well, not in caves like bats from hell, no, but in the finest, most lined pockets of the filthy rich. It lives there, smugly multiplying, faster while the earth is dying. The trees we need for oxygen, but fuel to it, no stop button. Those free-roaming creatures that once occupied this rock have by it been converted, once animal, now livestock. Every fiber of this earth is until death from birth, just a part of the economy. It's death of all autonomy and individuality. This fiend we birthed from the loins of our minds is more powerful than our initial design. Its fingers wrap around our eyes and blinds. Only further it evolves as it organizes and specializes our society and enterprises ever in its service, our states and cities, nations and governments and committees, all designed ever in its service. Eternal service to the dollar. All our lives, we live in its gloom, from the cradle to the tomb, and now it leads our kind to its peaceful final doom. As the omnipresent hunt for profit reduces animal, plant, and mineral deposit into filler for our pockets, for this predator we birthed and served has such momentum, 100% energy preserved, that we just can't slow it down in time. And so we brace for the end of times. Humanity no longer crowns the food chain. We're just another product like grain or sugar cane or cattle raised and slain for personal gain. For the ever-reproducing dollar, the stronger, faster, taller fiend has finally dethroned humanity using its very own vanity. We're the final victim to its endless hunger. So embrace extinction, humanity's final slumber. Do I have time for another short one, or?
Go for it. You know what?
Yeah. Okay, cool. This one's less cheesy. I think so, anyways. So, when I was 12, I lived in the woods. I slept at home, of course, learnt at school, but lived in the woods. At home, I was a son, at school a student, tamed by order and overly prudent. But amongst the crooked jack pines that swayed with the wind and swayed with my soul, I was in charge, I was in control. My kingdom was a sunny paradise of puddles, dirt, trees, and whistling winds bearing rotting wood spice. But my supremacy was challenged one morning, and my reign would be seized wildly without warning. On that fateful day, with my friends I was gleeful as summer wind whistled through tangles of needles. I wove through a trail hidden in the brush, my friends on my tail I begin to rush. We were playing manhunt. I fled from them happily, but quickly the sun was devoured by canopy. Something else stumbled behind me that day, silenced by the spongy orange of decay. First, my friends panted warm breath down my neck, but now ice is pressed there. I'm too scared to check. My friends have vanished, but the footsteps have not. As the eclipsing dark wood starts to crack and to rot, the ice that pursues me grows ever near, and now it's arrived, I'm consumed by fear. Then it tackles me, to the ground I am pressed. And now, before I can guess, taut against my head, metallic heaviness. I pant and hold my eyes tightly shut. He won't pull the trigger, I know in my gut. So I gaze helplessly into the empty eyes above and discover a soul completely void of love. If an adult man could isolate a kid and shoot him in the head, strike him dead just for a power trip to feel something in his numb soul, then what kind of world is this? How could anyone be whole? The cold metal on my head, the cold of the metal pressed to my head begins to spread. He simply sits there while I'm filled with dread. And I never felt the bullet reach its final mark. He understood that he didn't need to pull the trigger for the bullet to pierce me. The cold had already done that. It worked its way into my head and into my soul. Numbness set in, and he took control. After the longest pause of my life, he left me there. He left me cold. He left me bare. This was a mugging, gunpoint theft. I was forced to drag home the part of me left. I tried my best to suppress that. I never told my parents about the wood that day. I tried my best to suppress the memory. But from that day on, when I entered the wood, the harmony was gone, as was childhood.